당은 상기고 본 토벌집에 제발라 안 군론 전주 심리 심비 토내는 저 한지 파신 쪽에 냠는 제제 상기고 본 토고 인자 당은 당보 내 태화 침별 남기 냠는 제발라做的 전주 심리 문에 나와서 고고로 디네 인자 당은 전주 심기 다 심기 전주 심기 안에 패셔바디 그 생도 쉬어래 제자 디네 인자 다 딘 마디리 다디 멤버 심기에게 심기에게 편연다 단 주버 심기 편연 안디야 안에 지금 편연들을 또를 봐 송바다 안디 리비 주바세지 원도 쓰는 이나네다 디는 마셔야 돼 다 리비 주비야 그걸 디고 마셔야 돼
In order to attain the exalted state of Buddhahood, one needs to engage in the 6 perfections, practices such as generosity and so forth, conjoined with bodhicitta. And it's bodhicitta itself, or the generation of bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, which is the gateway into the paths of the Mahayana. So we've been looking at, in the first chapter here, at the various benefits of bodhicitta, and these were presented through verses 6 to 19. And now we've started from last week in verse 20 at looking at the reasons establishing that these benefits are valid. And last week we looked at reasons based on sutra, and tonight we'll start to look at further reasons.
니네 자다 저기 내 장주 셈세디다 내 셈제 아주엘에 펜비 셈나네다 초도 규바 딜레 안게 쳐와지요 말해서 지나다 장주 셈 공바이나 디싱아 저 딘예리야다 지기 펜기 장주 셈이 펜 디바이네 디기다기리야다 아니 지 라셴니가레 디기 주야 돼 아니 장주 셈 유튜브 투고레야다 아니 가상아 주 돌레 슈바나셴 라상 슈비 도디나로야 아니 장주 셈이 펜 도시 송열에 사시데 안데네게 아주 그것이 디슈바래
Bodhicitta, or the mind of enlightenment, has as its objective the determination to benefit immeasurable number of sentient beings, countless number of sentient beings, to benefit them in the supreme way of leading them to a state freed of suffering. So to generate bodhicitta within oneself, one needs to reflect deeply on the many benefits of bodhicitta so as to develop a deep and sustained determination to do all that one can to cultivate bodhicitta, recognizing that when one has developed such a mind, one will purify vast obstacles within oneself that would otherwise prevent one's spiritual development and thereby prevent us being able to be of great benefit in the lives of others. Moreover, the generation of bodhicitta leads to the accumulation of immeasurable merit, which benefits both oneself as well as others. And last week, in the 20th verse, we looked at the sutra citation, the sutra requested by Subahu, in which the Buddha listed extensive numbers of benefits of the mind of enlightenment, of bodhicitta.
riba samla tangji na riba thone na jang shi ma ba simji ye simji be phan da juba simji be phan sungore da din dangbo de da ma ba simji be simji ge phan ba xie ba la riba ge sam da ji riba sam da ne riba thon du ye de shu gore.
Last week we looked at establishing those reasons for the benefits of bodhicitta through sutra citation, and tonight we'll look at a reasoning that will establish the benefits of both aspiring and engaging bodhicitta, but through the presentation of reasons.
That's it. Simjin nemgi lene tsam salo nyamdo samnayang pendo samba dang dende sunam pame tengyur naas.
The 21st verse. If even the beneficial attitude, the thought wishing for relief for sentient beings from headaches alone, bears merit that knows no bounds.
never delighted so who sembigi, the near some notage, this side, the Semji go never ding so good, sembing, sagging, sembing, delia, and pando some dama in there, and jiggy, the nigger some was dama in there, and pando be samba yuvanza, and certain bottom of Hungary, saggy, and got dirty roshi, they did it to Adache, and Rob Sixty Korongi, the house done that Rob Shuvena.
Briefly, what the first verse means, it's quite clear in the translation, is that the wish, may I cure sentient beings from merely a headache, just from that one slight suffering. That sincere wish leads to the accumulation of so much merit, so much virtue.
Yes, I didn't much Semjin Namgi Lene Zamzino go naive now. Salo Nyamno Samnaya, so the Denige Semjin, go naive, do not give pass, say, who do Sempege, Denige Pembig, some Denige some Tawena. Pando samba dante, depend on Shenley Pembe some give or wajirva, Dante. Chisa dinin the dinigi Pembe some givanza, so none bame think you now, so in the bottom of a cycle edge. She's the mission that go na do na. 말에 권주 권의 동화딩이 세긴 셈비게 삼로시키어도 디펜베 삼로레스 지나 디펜베 삼로자 소는 바도메가 사이고레지래.
The sincere altruistic wish to relieve the suffering of others, even when the suffering is just slight, such as a headache. This leads to the accumulation of huge stores of merit. Chik Dondaro Chirabara Shune Denishe, that in a did ma and the got Chigu Damguru, she did Sunhachi, Sunyachu, Sungor, that be Dondala din ma Sonya de Damgu, Dambeta Chan Sungore. So this is, sorry, I just couldn't remember the English word. So, but now I have. So this reasoning here is presented through that of an idiom.
That is Damgurich Kadasuras and Yamam and the Chike Lumbachilla and the Chike Misachi and then Bawadi and the Mun Song Jayata and Ma Jasonan Pachi and Jasonan and Chike Norbu Rimbushi Song Jayata Dustin Song Yagores, Misachiores and the Bawadi. And console Misangila, Pavadilla, Puchi, or the Puchun Saradicabdula, Puchunjure, Sisan Pava de Pa, John Jela, Pava John.
So the story is about a father who was a trader, and he traded in jewels that he collected from across the ocean. But this father died whilst his son was still very young.
That Budi Baba Donson Jelia, Budi Dusur, Ya Lochimbura Chayadu, and Budi Yamang and the Baba, and Amadili Kishivores, Budi, and the Baba Legores.
And the child, as he grew up, he often asked his mother, "What work did my father do?"
Yes, and then did you an Amagi. Then nearly Carson, Java Carlason, that she now song Zakazik do what in the song do Sigores, do Slavjedu, and Poverty song, the song Jagores, Lavares, Lavia, and Budi, Gaya, and the Babi Lega Najing and Song Jagin, and the Lumbatelia and Song Denegi, Song Japje, and the Nayu Ravatikia, Chasa Amalia, Dustin, Jason, Amalia, Pando to Regere.
The mother then, at one point, did actually tell her son that his father was a trader, and he sold goods, and in this way he supported the family. The son then promised to his mother that he would do the same, and in this way support his mother.
On the day Song Jinedu, that Lokashe Hachi Song Yamyon Ma Cher Chayadu, in Amagi, Kasimimang and the Babati, and Gasol Pa change when Rimbuchi Rikta, the name Song Jagores, and Amigdus Lavares, 라디오 안 부디 nga 두스네 안 계속 파진 좀 지식다 두스는 총자 주인신 총자 인신 부디 두스라레스.
But at first, the mother just told her son that his father was just a general trader, but didn't mention what he sold. But after the son, having engaged in business for a few years and thereby gained some experience, she then told her son that the actual story, or the actual truth, which is that his father traded in jewels, which he got from across the ocean.
총제 너림버시 식다도 쓴 총자된 제가 두고 있는 파조에게 도 줘야지 제리제제 조로지도 갑라 나 아마기 어느 걸 부디 라과 주시네 안에 아마디 무어래서 그래서 부디 파 다른 거도 아마데 균능부 따지게 파조들 직다와 망보디니게 마투에게 인자 아마디 부를 제어여 봐다 부도 스토디 안에 아마디 파 직sem보로 교체제 무어래서 우리 갑라드는 부디게 갈라서는 나 총자가도 아마티 되는지 무지에 빼마세게 맞게 지게 뭐가서 남도 라야래 사지 운두스는 랍제네 부디도 스트롤하지 되는 아미고 가는 직 슈버래서 그러대.
Now knowing what the actual trade was that his father engaged in, the child vowed to follow in his father's footsteps. He then made the required preparations, and when the morning came for him to depart, his mother, out of love and concern for her son's welfare and not wanting to be separated from him for an extended period like she had often been from her husband, she wept, asking him to stay. The child then got annoyed, seeing that this is as inauspicious, that he's about to embark on his first journey across the oceans, and this is a bad omen. So anger arose in him, and he struck out and hit his mother on her head. But out of anger, beating your mother, who is just showing you kindness and care, leads to the accumulation of great non-virtue.
체대를 통준 용유기 제부세도 체대려야 미야다 개와 치말이 미야 양지 개와 먹고 제일 미야 개와 다들 체대라 마미메제 개와 치말이 마미메제 개와 먹고 제일 미야게다 내 두시는 나서 용거래 제사다 거다데 아말 마 주고 가는 슈베디 배지랑을 진지바 아말 슈베디 디고 삽치모 사와자 거디 동아기 제부디 체대래 미야게 뉴바디 차선을 사와래서
Whilst the vast majority of karmic imprints one creates will only ripen in a future life, because this is created directly towards one's mother, then it is likely to ripen in the life immediately following this, or even in this very life.
다디는 부디 다 주신나네 제다 계속나다요 주로 다견사나신 주야고 첨부되어 말하다 되네게 주시 당신 준마파 전에 당파파 지계속마 저도다 근데 강삼 지리야 룸체부 하고 싶어 다디 아메기 동야기 디고기 레기 되고 미야기 다 견진 도시네 안디 견주 룸체부 하고 싶어래 하고 싶어래 딘디 주디파 지파 라베기 도시네 계진 주디 초라치 바레 답송레스 제산 줄 처치도 되네 보디마 신 대주기 신 양라지도 와봐 직 방래로 주직하도 어디네 제를 라고 주신도 전에 직도도 갈다 발랍기 파파파파 계진 편이 안에 지가 사지치가 레바레지래
He said that the child, having beaten his mother out of rage, then set forth on his journey. And boats in these ancient times were not at all stable or reliable like we know ocean journeys to be today. A storm came, and as happened so easily in ancient times, the ship was sunk. The young man, though he managed to cling to a piece of shipwreck, a piece of wood, and he was eventually washed up onto a distant shore.
다 주나를 봐 마시버제 봐 타르체 사지간지 레제디마 레네된 덴마 링텐 지들 레야도 다비시 디사지디 단예위 동안 용사기 예위 유로 신사와 어디는지 레바레스 오래 단예위 유로 사절 마선다 데니시 신사와 데니시 레바레스 오래.
This distant hell would have whilst being an island, would have actually been a hell realm.
That in Malay to Gabliam Penny Mimonguchi, that Denegi Dungan Yonghe, that Yamagi, Dene Amil, Ama Golia, Dunche, Denegi Dungan Yong, Simjan, that Denegi Manguchik, Dushin, and the Cardiorson, Denego Kolo Lungunaja, Kolo Squarshin. Midi Dustin Dejuche, Diganba, Kolo Gogan, Kolo Goyodi, and God Pajik, Kolo Zipin, Goran Dusin, Chunchu Dubje Pajik, then Lebar Paz Dusin, Dunjan, Jiki Sugores, the Dunga Dennis Yongo Chawar, Chesa, Semjin Namki, Lene Zamsedi, Lebanea, Gona, Denigi never, Nasa, Dangji, Dunga Yongoedi, the Ko Tongje, Koronya, Di, that Yongoegi. In
this distant land, this hell realm, he saw beings suffering excruciating pain. And he saw beings who were experiencing the karmic ripening results of having beaten their own kind mothers. And the way the karma was ripening is that there was an iron wheel attached to the head spinning and beating their head, causing them unbearable pain.
Nadi kono deadly and Dukabla, Dako Garasam dance, Dako Javrola, that Denigi Yonga Mangurwa, Dako Garasam, that Denigi Dunga Yonga, the Ninje, some that Dene Mangutu, that thing as that Denigi Yama Ame Kola Dunjine, Digi Legi Jevo Kola, and Nazan Yonga, Be Masi Mangudua, speak it Mangudus, Denigi Semjan, that Dele Dunga Yonga, Semjan, me, some Dajine. There's a Semjan Tam, the Sui Semjan to get Dunga, Kona Dungadi. Tangachibu Yonshe, Konzo Yomo show, Sambike, that the Konzu Yongo, Dunga, Jebu di Chasa, Nalaminje, Nin Yongje, Konzo Yomo show, Sambike, Dushin and Samatawa, as you will go. Cesada Co Baran de Lero, Goya, Jensen Lero, that knows Corongio Cesar. Cesar Coron, Nazata, against some little Doko, Gablola Mango or Yongoyagi, Chasa, the Nigga Simjan Chasa, Yomohoa, the Nigga Dunga, the Nino, Nalia, Conzu Dunga Yos, and Ali Minja, Conzu Yomo, show, some big, the conjugate, Dunga Ganga, the Nijin, Nazin Yongo, some big Ninjiki, Conzola, big Ninjiki, and the Nigga conjugate Dunga, Conzu Yomoache, Nali Minje, the Nidunga, the Jebu Minja, Daba show, some big douche and some tower.
Having created similar karma, he experienced that self-same ripening effect. And he also had this iron wheel attached to his head, spinning around, beating his own brain, in this way causing him intense suffering. But recognizing, despite his intense pain, recognizing that all these beings around him were in the self-same situation, experiencing the same pain for the same cause, compassion spontaneously arose within him. Sincere compassion that expressed a sincere wish. May their pain ripen on me, and by their pain ripening on me, may I experience it to the fullest extent. May I experience their pain to its fullest extent, thereby freeing them from having to experience the pain. May I suffer on their behalf. May they be freed from suffering. So this a mind of compassion sincerely and spontaneously arose within him. This spontaneous compassion, the sincere compassion having arisen with him, in a moment later, his own iron wheel disappeared and he was relieved of that pain.
지난 반도와 삼다 당된 비시 펜도비 시행이야 펜도비 삼바의 덴바인자 지선은 빠도메 봐 열을 쓰는 밤에 지선 쓰는 빠도메 디 되니기 시행이야 시행이 고도 닝제 삼다 konzu 둥하디게 양 뇨모 해 뇨제 konzu 뇨모쇼 어선비게 되니게 삼로 시행이 판도비 삼로 당와디기 쓰는 빠도메 봐 덴바에 쓰는 디 이게제네 되니기 안에 녀마 아미기 골두비 둥할리 되고 뇨고야디 뇨모가 다송어레스 제선 쓰는 디딩이 동안 뇨모 제부 다송어레지.
Looking at the 21st verse, if even the beneficial attitude, the thought wishing for relief for sentient beings from headaches alone. So this is the wish that arose within him. And through this sincere compassion arising, we see the fourth line, it accumulated boundless merit. And through the power of the merit that he generated through his sincere compassion, that served to purify the negativity, the negative karma that he had accumulated by beating his mother with anger.
그래서 그 semjen 남기 레네 잠나시도 그 semjen에 닝지에게 semjen이다 대수 누가디 양알 뇽지 혼자 뇽모쇼 선비기 믹스 semjen들 삼다는 semjen 뉴뉴치 받아요 말 semjen 담지 차요 말와 델리아 고는 나스다에게 되니기 유현 디 타고로 유티게 뇽고에게 타고 대수 semjen을 미시에 안에 곧 누가디게 가서 건설 누가 뇽모쇼 선비기 삼는 미유디 semjen의 뉴뉴 받아요 말 semjen 담지 말와 다 되네 semjen nam lene zamse 다 semjen never mongbuyo wada bene 고나야 요래 라바나야 강바나야 요래 아니 나세게 셈 지나요 아니 지 셈규 강아 요래 강아 빠도 매바 요르데 디섬 never say 돼야 고나에게 never 맞아 삼다요 말와 never 차상 삼단 거 말. 고나게 되니 그 고tum 나즈레네 나즈 강아 쇼도 디 나즈디 사오쇼 셈비기 디 나즈데 녜렌제 콘즈르 뇨모쇼 셈베 삼다마드 나자고 삼다 세에게 나즈디야 고나에게 레지 나에게 나즈코 나즈디 지부 삼다레스 믹스 셈젠디야 네 셈준 디 뇽고에게 셈젠 리 뇽뇽지 마도요 말스 대자 semjen dene nyunyu chikche ane digi dunga gmasono dunga lebane neba di dunga naga chikruwa dene ji samda chene ane chik pembe samlo skebine sonan patum be basagi duas.
We see what led to the accumulation of boundless merit was the sincere mind of compassion. But what this sincere mind of compassion that led to boundless merit was directed towards was just those sentient beings that he directly observed, not all sentient beings, just those he directly observed. Moreover, his aspiration wasn't for them to be relieved from all physical pain, let alone all forms of suffering. It was merely the type of suffering he could observe and he was experiencing himself. So therefore, whilst his compassion was sincere and thereby led to boundless merit being accumulated, it was only directed towards comparatively few beings, experiencing, whilst a severe suffering, only one type.
디네기 semjen 카시지를 미제 DNA 나가 레바점 나와지 세계 돈나라 삼로 판배 삼다바네 판연 계침을 사기에나 근데 자주 셈 멤버셈기 계제 공부했는데 표현 딜레 치기를 했다 제 이말 왔다 저다 도다지서다.
From this then we can understand that if so much merit can be accumulated when just observing the coarse suffering, the obvious manifest suffering and only of one type of just a few sentient beings, we can infer with reasoning that aspiring bodhicitta, which holds all forms of suffering for all sentient beings without exception, aspiring bodhicitta will lead to so much more merit being accumulated.
나 되네 dondi 시고다 장주 셈기고 뭔가 셈기게 시고 다 판연 첨부인비 금전 첨부인비 셈전 레레 미데와 빠도 메바 사이드진 Rerea Yundin, Bamedo, Druberduba Mujiquis.
Then continuing into the 22nd verse, how much more so the longing to dispel the immeasurable pain and misery of every single sentient being and fulfill the yearning to accomplish each and every unfathomable good quality.
Jazada, Mumba Semgi said, the Semgi the Gay, and Garson Sem Mie, the Semjan Tamji. Bene Chigilhada, Mida, Nyawada, Ido, Dundro, Chas, and Semjan Kanichi, Sang Simji de Ma, Sang Maki Manchigi, that Sang Maki, Janjusimba in Chasan, Janju Nyanda, Raja, Lam, Shuda, Mashuba, Denigita, Semjan Sang Malamigo, Semjan Tangma, and the Semjan Jiga Maluba Chasan, and there were the Diana, Denani, Sim Dungana, Jana Show, Sembig, Dungana, Tajuki, Niji Go, Niji Gebala, Dene Janjusim, Niji. Dene Niji Semjan Tamji Dungana Jagodo, Semjan Tamji Dungana Java, and Nijin, Tinzang Semjan and San Yokoban Toba Show, Sebig, Janjusim Gevar was, Chisna Janjusim Gegi, the Gudi, Semjan Tam Jelmiche, and Niji Gevanza. Miba Semjan Samdana, Semjan Tayeba, Jangle Deba, Yachimu Dilema, Mevas, Chasan Migores, Deshi Dunga Nights Nana Dunga Ninja Sembe, Niji, Semjan de Kashima de Omaras. That Mamba Semge, Niji, the couple Niji, the Semjan Tamje, that Tamjel Niji Wars, Chasa de Miba de Masona, Semjan, Koyu Miu Semjan Masona, Sheragida, Kawashuchemo, so show as you rather.
The 22nd verse is drawing a comparison between the great benefits that arise from ordinary compassion and, in the 22nd verse, the compassion that leads to the generation of aspiring bodhicitta. Aspiring bodhicitta holds as the object of concern each and every sentient being. Here the bodhisattva would hold in their heart the welfare of every being, whatever realm they find themselves in, whether it's a life form observed or unimagined, whether it's a being suffering the lowest realms or even in the God realms, whether it's a ordinary being or a fellow bodhisattva, whether it's a bodhisattva or someone on the hero or solitary realizer paths. All beings, all sentient beings are the objects of compassion for the bodhisattva. The bodhisattva now is being held by aspiring bodhicitta. And this aspiring bodhicitta, which has come about through the cultivation first of great compassion, and then the altruistic intention of universal responsibility, and then the determination to become a Buddha so as to guide all sentient beings to attain their own enlightenment, the mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta itself. This incredible mind leads to the cultivation of so much merit when compared to even the extraordinary mind of genuine compassion.
On the Semjan said the Semjan Taya Bautumeba, Semjan Tamjel Mibares, that Semjan Rere Media Bautumeba said to Semjan Rere Media Bautumeba Sura. Chisan Semjan Chile in a Naza. Da mara dunga pat me yo wache te yo ro ta ngazo samta bene ngazo ha go ye de samta bene ngazo go na bi dunga yo la ba na wa da ka ba na wa da su bu na ya ge an chi ge yang chi ge cha bi dunga cha bi dunga an chi ge do do bi dunga ka kon bi dunga chi ge cha wa chi bi dunga ta ngazo su bu samta bene dunga da mara yo shu wa Bene Gabrielia, Twengi, Masubi, Masun, and Nasdaya Dunga, Kalas and Kala, Matribic, Subunaya Dunga, Chisadushin and Subu Chibu some Damen, Dunga, Bautumeba, Marasik, Yali Bashik, and Hanzu Super, and Janyembo, Nyembo Code, Chimbo Migodi, Janyembo Magodi, and Delet in the Dunga, and Migi Chigam, Miseva Ton de Delamibi Dunga, and the Chige, the Luki, that Dunga, because Doloro, Zubo, the Ratanyo, Denige Dunga, Chesadan, Subul Devana, Dunga Bautumeba. Chesan Semjin Chilia, Lulet in the Dunga Bautumeba, Tamaranyo Yedeva Chiche. And Dinala Samotaben, Samonalia, Rangi, Dunda, the Mutubi Dunga, Rangi no Druko Badi, the Mareva, the Matubi Dunga, then the Drup Savene, Dipa Yanchik Showada, Cholawagi, Ganis Nyayagi, Gangade Dunga, Deni Chipat and Kadeji, Showa, Dile Dunga. She said that Dunga, the Pato Meba, some Ten, Dunga, Lu Dunga, the Michil, Semjin Chile, some Tavene, Dunga Pato Meba, your Reshira. She said that Denigi Semjin, really Dunga Pato Meba, Dunga Yosuba, and he Segis in the killing Jivo, the Jeza. Semje Rere Media, Pado Mepa, Saduji, Semje Rere, Dunga Pado, Meba Jangla, Deba Juare. That is a Semjen Tamjils in the Semje Rere Denishuna, that Dunga say Dunga Dilla, Pado Meba Jangla Deba Juares. Dichasang is Segins in the Donala, Jansim Gibores. Deji Dunga say there's some Guanaya Dunga Segins and Big debate, Guanaya Dunga Ding Segin, Dinga Limba, Continue more shows and be some Dichibutala, Pando Sunum Chibusaguna, Semjan Tamjil Dunga, Semja Rela Dunga, Janle de bottom of a yeting. This Semjan Tamji Dunga, Janle de bottom of Dunga, Yosuba, Segi, Denegi, killing by Inza, Sun bottom of a side was for that.
To make the comparison between ordinary compassion and the compassion of aspiring bodhicitta, to make this comparison very clear, we look at the first two lines. The longing to dispel the immeasurable pain and misery of every single sentient being. So there are two key parts here. The first is that aspiring bodhicitta is in relation to every single sentient being, as mentioned in the previous segment, every being across every realm, every form of life, whether imagined or not yet even imagined. Every being, without exception, the yearning for them to be freed of suffering. And when we think about suffering, we will more readily, for practitioners at our level, generate compassion for suffering that we have direct experience of, especially if we have experienced it ourselves or to a lesser degree observed it. But here, Bodhisattva goes so much beyond that, generating compassion for the wide variety of physical pains and ailments that beings suffer, whether it's pains of the body, pains of the limbs, pains associated with old age, various illnesses and disease, pains that come through the climate, through when the weather is a little bit cold and nothing that the person can do, or the weather is very hot and there's nothing the person can do, as well as pains associated from conflict, whether it's conflict between nations, so where one is assaulted with weapons, or whether it's through conflict in the home. And also pain associated with hunger and impoverishment. So recalling this, because these are sufferings we can observe and some will have experience of, compassion will arise. But the bodhisattva isn't limited by what they have experienced. Their compassion is so deep and so sincere. And beyond suffering on a physical level, they'll be aware of suffering, they'll generate compassion for the suffering beings experienced on a mental level, through hearing unwanted words, through having verbal conflict with others, the suffering that comes from loneliness or from depression, the suffering that comes from not having things go the way that one wants, or the suffering of losing power, losing authority. So the bodhisattva, with their broad and expansive mind, their compassion encompasses all beings across all life forms, as well as the widest possible variety of sufferings that beings experience. So the bodhisattva has developed such a broad outlook that they aren't restricted by the narrowness of their own direct experience, but their mind is far, far broader than that. Hence, the amount of merit that is accumulated is incomparable.
Dadi dangbo tsingi di semje riri midewa pado meba saidu chinchi semje changle deba semje riri dunga pado meba changle deba di chasa di pa ngi segi sen di segi dundala janshu semki gorwas deni zada deni gi miyu semje ngi chane ina ya changle deba de deni gi dunga segi dunga deba ya pado meba changle deba che da deni gi segi samda sanju ko ma thoba sho sim bege janshu semki du Dinigi Chanlia, Pember Duye, some Dilia Haba, Gachawaji can Mevares. Dinin Zada, Dinigi Gachima some time do, paying bottom of your was order.
So the reasons presented here why bodhicitta leads to so much more merit being accumulated. We've looked at two so far. One being the number of beings. So here, being very aware, it's every single sentient being throughout the realms of existence, every single one, without exception, no matter what realm they're in, no matter the relationship they have or have had with them, all are held dear by the bodhisattva. Moreover, the yearning for them to be freed of suffering isn't just in relation to the coarse suffering that the bodhisattva has observed, but every form of suffering, coarse, subtle, and extremely subtle. The yearning is for them to be freed of all forms of suffering and its causes. So for these two reasons, the number of beings and the variety of sufferings, the mind is incredibly vast, incomparably vast. Hence, the amount of virtue accumulated is incomparable too.
Bangbeki yuande, bangbe yuande, dobe yuande, nyomoba, bashada jeba bangbe bangba. Ani jiki chue tam je onsun doba tar jimbe yishe, dinegi kenbe yuande, nube yuande, ani zewe yuande, ani jiki tinle yuande, dine bado meba semjen tam jile drubo dugo ore chire. Chisa dine diruwada, semjen tam je sanje suel guigins. Semjen tam je sanje, semjen tam je dunga bado meba bangbe yuande diya, mi denbar chegi is kon semjen diki denbar chegi is semjen tamjile kensu nusum yuanden diya semjen tamjile jik chasan yuanden denbar de ngi chegi chida semjen de sangje so ku gi is di dunda la ngi semjen tamjile sangje go ba tobar shuo sembe ge semje wa inza chisa denigi yuanden bado meba semje re la yuanden bado meba yuanden bado yuanden tarchi be shi da yuanden dile haba meba di an pusun soba di an ju semjen le drubar konsul yuanden di denbar chigo res dene sam daje sanju go ba tor shos be chanju sim kya was chisa dene za dai me chigo yesle dene ge sam da do sam dile an phando ege phando lawa ji amare phando chiwa ji amare chisa dene sam da be ne de yuande me chigo se yuande gaso senan bodo me ba sa yo ba de she go ya yo ma de se wo da me chigo yes.
We've looked at two key reasons presenting why bodhicitta leads to the accumulation of incomparable merit, first relating to the number of beings, and secondly in relation to the widest variety of sufferings for beings to be freed from the coarse to the subtle to the extremely subtle. And then the third reason is presented in the final two lines: fulfill the yearning to accomplish each and every unfathomable good quality. So in the cultivation of the mind of bodhicitta, in relation to all beings across all life forms, the wish is may they be freed from all forms of suffering and its causes. And then thirdly, may they have all good qualities relating to the body, all good qualities relating to speech, and all good mental qualities. And this would then include the qualities that come from abandoning the afflictions together with their seeds, so the qualities of liberation, and abandoning the afflictions together with the seeds and the imprints, the qualities of enlightenment. And leading up to that, all the qualities that come from practicing the perfections of generosity and so forth. So here there is the sincere wish, may all beings cultivate all these good qualities, and moreover, I will do so. This is my responsibility. It's insufficient. I merely have this aspiration for all beings to be freed from all forms of suffering and attain all good qualities. I take responsibility to ensure that this comes about. And to do so, I have to become a Buddha and lead them all to enlightenment. So therefore we see that these three qualities of the aspiration relating to the number of beings, the variety of sufferings, and thirdly, the variety of good qualities, these are all innate to the mind of enlightenment itself. And therefore, there is no greater source of merit than the generation of actual bodhicitta. There is no technique to cultivate more merit than the generation of bodhicitta.
And then again, Dorduna, that was chick, not the Shubin, Angele, Jaju Sim Gomio de Kala, Mixed Simjan Tam Jelemi, Simjan Tam Jelemi Gore, Simjan Tam Jemine, Simjan Tam Jig, Dunga Bottom, Dunga Yonsoba say, Dundala, some Tanjan, Sanjuko Tobaji, shows of a Sim Gum Gores. Just Dimaze, Simjan Tam J, Dunga Koyo, Dunga Bang J, Bang Bay, and then Tardo Bot. 确他们觉得什么叫做商业社会规定性的，那这个规定性的什么叫他们这娱乐，那天数天把那商业国方投票的，那这个千百一些的，这位的你别太千百一些，帮到原来太千百的过了娱乐，看出来结完结果，电板结果的，的那个上单讲就是什么结完之后，那朋友的报道起码用过的事情，这些别的些对呢，米色的什么叫开始积累米。 Dia and Simjin go na ya zamjig, Naza Disayag Dondalaya, Pemba Samdane, and Jig Pambat Samda, Gomio de Gabla, and Amalia Jig Nubi Setelia, Dunga Yongoegi, the Jefugia, and Jig Kuxji Quarter in the Pa, there's Jig Yongepa, Jefu Datu with Nuba Dinish Yongobana. The nigger Simjan Tamjela mean the Simjan Tamji Dunga, bottom of a say to another, Simjan Tamja, Sanju go on to be chirdo, and the nigger Sim give a Sim get delata, the Payan bottom of Yoba inza, that the nigger Digbata didn't touch Mokanisavena, Sim Digomaladine, Damato Hayamarchiza, Simjan Dunga in a Jinyomo at Datugre, and then Yendi in a Sanju go on to Yendi bottle, certain bottom of a Sagina, Sanju go on to a tiny one, so Yashimusatu, certain bottom of a Sagores. Tis not the Nesavazan and Sanju go on to be tiny Chingores. Dininza, that Jumsin Dininza, Manjuki Jajusim, Gomeda, Dina Malabjakarnang or Zoda, Jajusim Dinigi pay your da, Tis not Dinigi Jajusim, so soon now to Jikang to Yamnachi Gom Gorda, setting on the Labjan Masmana, and the Tisungor, what I don't know.
To summarize these two verses, the 21st and 22nd verse, when one cultivates bodhicitta, one has as one's object each and every sentient being. One holds the welfare, the well-being of each and every sentient being close in one's heart, no matter what realm they're in, what relationship one is aware of with them, without exception, each and every being is held deep in one's heart. And the yearning is for each and every being, without exception, to be freed from all forms of suffering and their causes. In particular, the suffering that keeps one bound in the realms of samsara. And then thirdly, the yearning for their happiness is that may they attain the exalted state, the perfected state of enlightenment, the state that is marked by perfected good qualities, qualities of body, speech and mind and so forth, and perfectly and completely having abandoned every trace of fault. So these are three characteristics that identify or characterize the mind of enlightenment. And the way to relate to it with the illustration is to recognize that through the sincere generation of compassion, but merely focused just on relatively few beings and only in relation to one particular type of suffering, the merit that is accumulated is of such magnitude that it can purify a grave negativity. So therefore, through this comparison that one can understand when comparing such compassion to the actual mind of bodhicitta, then we can be confident that there is no more powerful mind for us to develop to both accumulate vast stores of merit and purify vast stores of previous non-virtue, resulting in our determination that we must strive continuously to cultivate bodhicitta ourselves.
Dine zandame jes shiwala chembegi nganzulya dusine an janshu semgi mamba da juba semgi janshu mamba semgi shkebe ne payen dine shi paktu meba yore se song de nganzugi da dine ge jujung junju lo che nganzugi dine ge samda de chik dine lo bale dine nganzugi da jes shiwala chembegi ma nganzulya janshu semgi payen dige je ma jik song de nganzugi ne delia samna da je an dine de payen dine duwa sembegi dusine 제바 제 삼다에도 안직 저시심이 편연 통야다 안델에 되네 마즈리아 안직 저시심다 마음대로 타면와 저시심 공고다 선비게 심슈게야 단 마즈리아 듬바게다 심슈게나 기게나 안데 고메를 베즈치고 바자 다 저시심이 편연시는 아주도시네 삼다와래 되네 아주게 고메야래 베즈치야다 디치 고고래 사지 디숭고바 나신다 아주이네 당아주도 나닝보디 당아주기 도시네 지게 아주 상마래 제 수인이 저기다 전주도시네 제수 바로제 안 되니게 된다되게 파삼 다도시네 어다 되니게 편연 침보지 여사로와 된지다 아주 체명해 봐니 매나야 편연 침보 되니지 용 여사로와다 다디게스 지war라시면 송도와 선배 아 되니지 검제 기후도와 선배게다 심주게야다 아주리아 고면에 매주시 화야디 The
purpose of studying this text, in particular, the purpose of this very first chapter, is to generate the sincere yearning to become a bodhisattva, to have this mind of bodhicitta ever present within us. This is the purpose of this first chapter, to generate through constant reflection on the benefits of bodhicitta, the determination that in what remains of this life, nothing else matters than the generation of bodhicitta. This is what I must dedicate what remains of this life towards achieving. In every moment, my sole focus must be on accumulating the causes that will lead to me becoming a bodhisattva, to becoming counted amongst Buddha's children. This is the purpose of this text. And through reflecting in this way, it will become the purpose of our life. And in this way, we will follow in the footsteps of great beings like Shantideva. And this really needs to be for all of us, myself and included, we need to develop this as our sole focus.
That gets you all in beginning until ya judges in your pen, that jig the nigger you are in Yamlin Chorati and Yamlin Cheva and the Anzulia, jig deeper diary and sauce society church Hassan di Jungre says ma douche in the gallop Nazi Anzula Labjaros Masona, di Nangor Wada, Dinenza, me Anzu Yarum getting Yana Yado Gedina, that Gedina di Sungor Wada and a picture. Gedus Gawa Sonvine, that Jam Ninji said, Janju Sim said, Yamlin Chehuri said, the Janju Yaramshi Nema, and the Dojdan Yao, Jigger Kunulama Mutstan, and Junju Chimos, Juj, and Dinesu, Jendushin, and Janju Sim Yamlin Judushin, Mutishan, Yamlin Jevi said. Ordination Danganzi, Gedina to Sungur, Chisande, the Geshe Chimbo Koran, Chikoranzu and Yamin, Yamyon Tone, Nazulia, Korans Pando Yoba, the Dus Pando, do Yamne Jewel Sungorwa, Nagaram Chain, the Lama, Danganzu get that Chikibo Tambosuine, Koranzu Yamina, Yamin Jevi Tone, and Narazula Dus Jewel, says the Sungore, the Nenzada, Chasa. Lama Tisuki Jesu drawings that Anzuki Dinigi, Anzuna come to the Chewadi, Chazadu Sine, that the dining boarding as to Yablin Chewadi, the Chagorwa, and that the Lelo Digi, the Lelo City, the Nansulakati Gorvada.
Again, the reason for this first chapter, which presents all the benefits of bodhicitta, or many of the benefits of bodhicitta, is so that we can give rise to the yearning to become bodhisattvas. And to the extent that this yearning arises in you, direct your mind towards accumulating bodhicitta. Every act of accumulation of merit dedicated towards the generation of bodhicitta. Every purification practice you engage in, purify the obstacles to the generation of bodhicitta, knowing that when bodhicitta does arise, one's continuing acts of accumulation and purification will be so much more powerful. But right now, as we are trying to give rise to a sincere determination to become bodhisattvas, have this as your focus of your acts of accumulation and purification. And do so with confidence, knowing that this is how all the great masters have trained. His Holiness sets the perfect example when he recounts the story of how, through hearing teachings in Bodh Gaya from Kunalamba Rinpoche, on this very text that we now have encountered, he strove to generate bodhicitta. So he encourages us to follow the example of all the great masters, to strive to generate love and compassion. And here we are at the outset of our training to reflect here on the varied benefits of bodhicitta, so that we can shake this obstacle that we have of laziness and distraction and procrastination, and through reflecting on the benefits, give rise to the yearning to turn away from our limited outlook, our distraction to activities of very little value, and rather ensure that we put all our effort into achieving this result. And we can have confidence, because of the advice of all our teachers, that to the extent we apply ourselves to cultivate this mind, we will come ever closer to actually generating it, to actually becoming bodhisattvas. So here our encouragement is to recognize our great good fortune, having this precious human rebirth, and not only that, but having encountered a text such as this, and to use our opportunity in the best way possible, which is to here reflect on the benefits of bodhicitta, cultivating a sincere yearning to become a bodhisattva. So now, continuing with verse 23. So if someone wouldn't mind just turning the board around, because the other two are on the back. Thank you. Does even a mother or father have an altruistic intent such as this? Do the gods, venerated sages, or even Brahma possess it?
Pamyana Maya Rung sitting on Zugilia, Padam, Pamalia, Rangi, Pulia, Be, Zewachimushu or Wasiorda, Jeza Rangi Pul Pat, Be, Jambatan, Zewache, and on the Budi and Dungada, called Dunga Majuya, that Gidin and Digioya, and Jia, Salon de Yaboja, Subutiboya, and the Archie Church of Lobjoy Yaboya. And the Lobjoy watch about the Lega Yaboraya, Lega de Lena, and cross the Twinkin, and Benjo, the Yabo, Kron Kiboyage, Pamegi, Zewa, Pul, Budushin, and some Lodin, Pamalia, Zewa Jor was, Pamalia, Zewa Chibu, rest of Puli Soda, Payang, Pamiana, Mayan, said.
The love parents have for their children is really something that's quite extraordinary. At all times, no matter what is happening in the life of the parent, they hold their child dear. And in every occasion, the focus of a parent is wanting the very, very best for their children. They endure a lot of hardships in raising their children to try and develop the character of their child in the best way possible, making them a good person, a kind person, a generous person, a wise person. They encourage them in their education, guide them in their own development, always trying in the best way, to the best of their ability, to help the child fulfill their potential and lead a life of happiness, a life freed of problems. And no matter how much good comes to the child, from the parents' perspective, they always want only the very best for their child.
술라 디리 판심유 시도 제사 되니게 샘전 탐제기 돈달에 샘전 탐제 동을 세야다 샘전 탐제기 디기 주비야 샘전 탐제 산조고바 토비 제도 산기고바 토 쇼스비 되니게 판비 샘 자주 샘 나지 판심디 네 파마딜레 파마 바발레요 말 아말레요 말에스 제사 부부딜이 되니게 소소 부부레 되니 세워 여데 이나 자주 샘 공부나지 판심디 요 말 와서 제사데 maybe 김자 가르스는 소소 부부제도 부부진이시 가셔지 마도요 말와 제디 미세 호랑을 판예 삼담 다 자주 샘자데 샘전 탐제레미데 샘전 탐제 동아세야다 대야 안에 지 체디자 마이메 띵예 대화 안 타도 상주 고마 토비 치도 네 자주 샘게 바인자 판연디 쇼지 빠도메 바지 제자 되니게 자주 샘 공부나시 판연디 파마를 요 말어 와서 파마 술라 요 말에스 지상한주 지딜이야 파마디 되니게 부고래 제와서 파마 빼 마서 야고 쇼도 샘마 상고 쇼도 깨라라 개고르데 이네 샘전 탐제 상 자주 샘 나시 펜베 샘디 파마들에 민우 와서 그래 요 말에스 술라디리 펜심 유에스
Whilst parents have a deep and sincere, heartfelt love for their children, that level of love and concern is expressed just towards their children. It's not the same love and care for all sentient beings. They may well care for others, but not to the same extent as their own children. This is quite different from Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas hold all sentient beings as if they are their own children. All sentient beings without exception. Moreover, whilst parents want their children to be freed from problems and difficulties in this life, Bodhisattvas look way beyond this life, wanting beings to be freed from every form of suffering so that they never suffer again. The complete eradication of suffering and its causes. That is the determination of a Bodhisattva. Moreover, whilst parents want their children to have all the happiness that's possible in this world, Bodhisattvas look far beyond mere worldly happiness, wanting beings to have the happiness associated with the liberation and enlightenment. So therefore, whilst the love of parents for their children is quite remarkable, that of Bodhisattvas even more so, in that it encompasses all beings, as well as the complete freedom of all forms of suffering, and the highest form of happiness, the happiness of enlightenment. Looking at the text, does even a mother or father have an altruistic intent such as this? Do the gods? So here too, even with beings with so much merit, the gods, they also do not have love like that of a bodhisattva.
장송 남자 롱세 장송来요 말해서 장송세디 지당 장송세디 저기 안지 류가 이수면 예주파 돔제나 안지파 지고 곰제다 되게 제라 장송세 고거래 류가 이수면 예주 돔제 예바 디바방 디가 지금에 선비기 예주 돔제는 능아도 곰제다 되게 제라 장송세 장송은 장보셔 장보 셈 지 현래 고가다야다 현래 되니게 선마다지 정보섬 진짜 장송 진짜 장송 세들이야 망보 치료비 장송 용그래 낭비 장송 용그래 한 장소들에 나가 망보 용세 장송 첨보라도 상계를 고거래 진짜다 년도에다 랑제 남냠는 지금들이야 장송 최고래 진짜데 장송 남냠이 세들당 장송들라 먼저 치료비 장송 변에 미 지게 창주 치료비네 지곰냠네 지신나 일바 두신 곰냠네 지가 요래 낭베에 되네지 요래 안니 람냠네 지겐 년도에다 랑자 되니게 되솔래야 되솔라양 안니 지기 지담이 펜베 셈다 현래 처음에 봤죠 현래 네베 삼바 방체 현래야 두신 삼로 펜베 자체부 요래 이내야 자주 셈디 나신 펜도지 콘절라요 말해서 장송 남자로 장설라요 하다 밀하라요 말에 장송라요 말해서
further, venerated sages, they also cannot be compared to bodhisattvas. Venerated sages, the way we should understand this term, is that it refers to those who are striving to abandon the negativities associated with the body, speech, and mind. So they will be particularly honest. So the word is, in Tibetan for sages, is someone who has accomplished being honest. Drang sung, with drang being the word for honest. So and this meaning here of being honest is is abandoning the negativities to do with one's body, speech, and mind. And within the category of venerated sages would include those who are Buddhist and non-Buddhist. So for example, the term great sages actually refers to Buddhas. But more commonly we would understand it. So in this case, we're not thinking of great sages, not thinking of Buddhas, but of all other types. So this will include hearers and solitary realizers, as well as non-Buddhists who are engaging in the abandoning of negativities associated with body, speech, and mind. So these venerated practitioners, hearers, solitary realizers, as well as non-Buddhists, they will certainly have remarkable love and compassion for others, cannot be compared to that of bodhisattvas.
mi supi pamana ane ladang dinegi changsong ane jiki nangbana jibada dinegi ane jinyanyo da rangyala soba desugi yuleya ane jiki pembe sim janshu sim nashi shenle pembe samla gyachenpo de yomare esa chi dona sur dujala diridwa.
So the meaning brief in this verse is that even mothers and fathers, as well as non-humans such as gods, and then those sages, whether hearers or solitary realizers or non-Buddhas, they, despite their many good qualities, cannot be compared to bodhisattvas.
Andi maje changpa la yan di yue tamsa. Jisna changpa se de changpa la yo ma re se. Da changpa se de yang de jugi de le ya la changpa se ji la ji changpa se ji ju re. Jisna da ngan changpa de la ming de yang ji jidang mangbo sangye la ya changpa se da. changpa se da. De ne gi ni ji changpa la du dona la ngan jugi nyomba chazang bangni delia bangbigi bangpa se ga topic gaza changpa se de sangye la ya changpa se de yung ju re and di membigi da anta chompa la so ba yung re di membigi da la changpa nga jidin be la changpa on la changpa se ju da di changpa se de jidin be la changpa de go re.
The final line, Brahma possesses. Brahma, the way we should understand the deity Brahma is that here in this context it refers to a worldly god, but the term in other contexts has wider meanings. The Buddha can be called a Brahma, Arhats can be called Brahmas. So the meaning of Brahma can be a practitioner who has completely abandoned the afflictions together with their seeds. But that's not the meaning here. Here it refers to the worldly deity.
다 상 디 창바 세디 자 지경 저기 저기 되별하 창바 세 용거래 니 민비게 되니야 아니 수감을 되되긴 창바 세라 창바 어디 세 용거래 지산 되니게 하 창바 수감을 이게 하 창바다 대수기 아니 직딘비 람 용어 유배 체매시 냠림는 지고래제 지산 혼술이야 체매시 그런 저기 랑기 안지 코콜이야 안지게 대화대 대나님 비기 삼로다 안체 잠바다 안지 동하다 자나 셈베 삼로 안지 당념 안지 온두신의 니 잠바 체메데 니 체메 가와 체메 당념 체메 세데 그런 지딘비 남용어 뒤비기 체메 되네게 그런서 곰 냠는 지고레스 지상 혼술이야 되니기 즉 펜비 그런서기 콜 체도 자와를 되니 펜비 삼로 요르데 장주 셈나시 펜비 셈도 요 말해서 그래. 창바 세도 뒤에 감라야 요래 주감라야 요래 돼.
Here, a Brahma we should understand as being a worldly god, a worldly deity. And here, Brahmas exist in both the desire realm as well as the form realm. And they are marked by having accomplished the four immeasurables: immeasurable love, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable equanimity, and immeasurable joy. So they, Brahmas of the desire and form realm, have these remarkable qualities of having achieved the four immeasurables, but yet cannot be compared to a bodhisattva.
당아 주게도 창바슬레 되니기 셈 전주 셈 되니기 나신 편요 삼바 그런줄에 편요다 되니기 삼바 세메 지팀벨람 용어 유베 세메지 판셈 되니 요르디나 전주 셈 나신 판셈 되니 주요 말에서 송고로와 된라이도 당아 주게 데데 디 창바세 되야 지금이 치료비균 룸다디기 되비를 하 창바 지딘 탐제기 제법보 점례 차상 쇠해니 쇠 창비 쇠바래 셈젠한제 창비 쇠바래 차상 지딘 탐지 요거보보 쇠해ൻ 창바세 지어래 사지 치료비게다 룸데나야 되는 창바 송고로 시고로와 디 창바디 안쪽에 다디디 말했으면 되겠습니다. 다디디 하면서 디 나신다 지딘 낭비기 창바세 치료비 되바 나신 창바 지딘 탐지죠 꼬바보 안지게 딱방고 딱바인바 창바디 낭비기 창바지 켈링고 말되네지 제가 치료보 코로나 좀 단날 코로나지게 다 창바스요 디 창바데는 뭐 딱바 안지딘 탐지죠 꼬바보 최근 지레세 창바지요에세 송고로와 시고로와 제가 디 창바들에 삼다이메래 디 창바들 삼다이는 공고 따와서 고 니지 가서 미다와 말와 삼다이와 셰바코로요 말와 제가 다는 아주 디 다들 창바세디 지르비기 뜀바 창바레세디 디 마임바 달하랑 아주기 창바세디 고 삼나다야다 미다와 유와다야바 되니게 아니 지게 계위자와 줍되겐 창바 어두술 삼 창바지 고 유래.
The final way one can understand Brahma is as the creator of the world, and this is how perhaps he is presented in non-Buddhist tenets in the Hindu religion. So the Brahma then is presented as being the creator of the world and of the beings within the world. But this, I don't think, is what is meant here by Shantideva by Brahma, because from the Buddhist perspective, there is no creator of the world, because the way the creator of the world is presented is that it is that he is permanent, unchanging. So Buddhists refute that this is possible at all. So here, the meaning of Brahma, we should rather understand it actually as a plural, Brahmas, referring to a certain class of God or deity within the desire and form realm. And then the purpose of this comparison is that despite having a sincere altruistic wish to be of benefit because they have attained the four immeasurables, they cannot be compared to the to bodhisattvas, in that bodhisattvas have bodhicitta.
라 창바세야 되게 되솔이네 직장유 셈나지 콘솔이네 배는 알아도 밀 삼다와네 지나 밀이야 판도 판스면서 지나랑에 파마디게 돼 판주랑에 부을 삼다도 배 잠잠바다 자와 판도 판심시오 체쇼 들어와다 부을 때니 체쇼들에 돼 장유 셈나신 판준도 콘솔이요 말했어 장유 셈 냠는 제 판연도요 말했어 지나다 밀레 다 하디게데 할래야 판심다딘데 요르데이나 전주심 나시요 먹고 많으지 판심딘데 쉬어 말했어 장송 세야들이야 장송 세야딩 하는 주기 되네 지르베 장송 당가서 능베 장송 냠len 능게 되지 요르데 대소래야 이 전주심 냠len 마지겐 장송 되기시고라 전주심 냠len 지겐 장송라다 전주심 판도 요르와다 대셔서 되니게 장송 전주심 냠len 마지겐 되니 장송 되게래 전주심 나신 편이요 말했어 라 창바 대술에 요 말했어. 되네 인사다. 아 저기 전주쌤 나신 판다 점리는 링나라야 미다 하다. 되니게 직 판도의 첨보다 매 셈버 상보 판도 중에 봐도 매봐 요래때 이내야 전주쌤 냠는 제반에 전주쌤 나신 판도에서 콘솔이야 요 말을 왔어. 제자다 전주쌤 디 냠는 제데 빼마세 지 예침보다 딜을 하고 매바래 제가 판심 디네 하고 쉬어 말해 제가 전주심디 디솔레 콘주기 판심 여바들레 셔라기 지게 개발도 파봐 자되래서 편체래서 나 전주심이 편인되는 쉬어래서 제가 도스진 송거로
So in brief then, this particular verse, we're comparing the qualities of bodhisattvas and thereby the benefits of bodhicitta to that of other beings. So as humans, we would probably say that the love, the wish for happiness for others that a parent experiences in relation to their children, this is the deepest wish for happiness to come to others that humans may experience. But even such a sincere wish that parents have for their own dear children cannot be compared to the wish to benefit that bodhisattvas have. Moreover, gods, with all their merits, and even Brahmas who have attained the four immeasurables, they cannot be compared to the love and compassion of a bodhisattva. Nor even great beings who are heroes and solitary realizers, so the venerated sages, nor they too, their good qualities also cannot be compared to that of bodhisattvas. The love and compassion of a bodhisattva, their determination to be of greatest benefit to others, this is incomparable across the realms.
Anda dona nyingbo dela jugi dade karasigorsne adon di diringi shuedigi na janju simye pen denetne yore semjen jige semjen mangbojile samdaje andi dunga se de bale semjen tamjile samdaje dunga se de bada dunga 빠도면 봐 세와 뒤고래 아니 심지어 탐지를 연대 빠도 봐 아니 지금 풍선 소바 탈심에 연대 주버 되어 인자 전주심지 판연 친보요를 판연 쓰는 빠도면 사이고래스 전주심 나신 삼바 개침뭐 현라 팬비 삼로 전주심 나신디 안지게 전주심 냠래 마시겐 가사 수려야 요 말레스 당아제 지 전주심 냠래 마시겐 미 파마라 소발에 배 랑이 보조리아 제와단 잠바 팬베스미에 되날 하당 장소당 베네 데니게 상발라 소바 체메 지딘별 남용오 규베 체메지 냠는지겐 코로나도 콜이야 바 잠바단 체마 제와 공간데 용거데 자주심 나신 팬 삼바 개침부터 건조요 말레스 지나다 자주 건조리아 데니게 삼로디게 자주심디 다 공부하는 다 딜레sem바 개체와다 현래 팬베스마 개체와 디마도 매 딜레마도 매와서 제가 자주심 공부할래 팬체와 지요 말레스 제가 자주심 공부이나 안지 손이 개체뭐 뉴도 조토바 산조고 방 교보 토토바 아니 소수기 개왕함에게 40일 레기 레행한비 디버티브 빠도 매번 용고에번에 디버천제 안에 자주심 공부할래 다투고래 세하다 안에 지게 체대를 이내 소수기 전주심 년년 제바이나 디바사기 말에 개와무장야마도 네 디바사기 말 사바 디바사바 사기 말에 니마 사유바나 디기 제부디 민 용모고바제 다투그레스 제자 강아세 두제 랑이 강아세 와마제 현지 강아세 그래 라신니가라 강아세 그래 라라 연대 빠도메 봐 용아마제 현라 연대 빠도메 봐 죽투 그래 제자 산지고 고파이네 뉴도 톱도 그래 소소 산지고 고파 교고 톱나 되는 심전 내 펜바 개천보디 교고 죽투 그래 제자 전주심을 하고 지요 말에 제자 전주심 연대나 기슈에 되는 시월에 되는자 겨우도 전주심 냠는지 공부를 해야지 당연히 기시월에 진명한 수도 슬랍지 능고래 되는 거라도 되는 거래 삼제 아주이네 디토리아 냠는지에다 비진 다 지게 강토도 지어와야 되다 아주 롭센디기 장비기다 아주 지고 좀제로스 마선 지어야를 라란다고 어디 책으로 와다 말아서 차산 지발에 로아 되네자
Summarize what we've looked at tonight then. The purpose of these verses is to make it abundantly clear to us how extraordinary bodhisattvas are, how extraordinary the bodhicitta itself is. And this was for these three reasons. Bodhicitta holds all sentient beings, every single one without exception, no matter what relationship the bodhisattva has with them, or what life form they are, whether they are directly perceived, whether they can only be imagined, or their life form is beyond imagine. Each and every sentient being is held dear in the heart of the Bodhisattva. And secondly, the yearning of a Bodhisattva is for each of these beings beyond number to be freed of every variety of suffering. Not just cause suffering, not just the suffering that they have, the Bodhisattvas experienced, and not just the suffering the Bodhisattvas observed, but every form of suffering, coarse or slight, and in particular from those causes that will lead to further suffering. And then thirdly, the yearning of the Bodhisattva is for all these beings to achieve all good qualities beyond number, both those ordinary mundane ones of the world, but in particular the good qualities associated with the varying paths, and in particular again those of the exalted state of enlightenment. So because of these three reasons, no being can be compared to a Bodhisattva. No being amongst humans, amongst gods, amongst spiritual practitioners either. Bodhisattvas are remarkable. And as there is no being that can be compared to a Bodhisattva, there is no mind that can be compared to bodhicitta. So therefore, hearing this, we should give rise to an aspiration to generate bodhicitta ourselves. And recalling the story that was recounted earlier, this combined with the benefits of bodhicitta we had heard in the preceding verses, we are reminded of that this mind of enlightenment, because of those three reasons, the number of beings, the variety of sufferings, and the variety of good qualities, the amount of non-virtue, previously accumulated non-virtue, that is purified by the mind of enlightenment is incomparable. Likewise too, the mind of enlightenment brings an end to accumulation of further non-virtue. And moreover, the mind of enlightenment leads to the accumulation of an inconceivable amounts of merit. So therefore, to be of to have a real impact on others, we should generate this mind of enlightenment ourselves, because not only do we thereby transform ourselves, but due to this purification and accumulation of virtue, the impact we have on others is incomparable. So this is how all the great masters, Shantideva and all the others have trained. We should, all of us, myself and all of you, we need to follow their examples through, here, initially, reflecting again and again on the benefits of bodhicitta, so that a sincere and overriding determination to become bodhisattvas in this life arises. So thank you very much. Then we'll conclude there for tonight. Thank you.